Hello guys, how are you doing? This is your boy Brian coming back to this brand new video. As you know, it's always a pleasure for me to be able to make these videos for you guys and talk about the things that we care about, whether it's movies, MMA or football. And on today's video I wanted to give my quick thoughts and reaction to the two fights that were added to UFC 296. We got the announcement of Stephen Wonderboy facing Shavkat Rakhmonov, and also Tony Ferguson was going to be facing the young Patty the Body. So what do I think about this fight? I'm going to give you my quick reaction, starting with Stephen Wonderboy versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. So here we have a 40-year-old, young, 40 years old Stephen Wonderboy going into this fight, riding a two losses and one victory in his last three outcoming in the octagon. He lost against he lost against Gilbert Burns, and he also lost against Belal Mohamed, and won via TKO against Kevin Holland. So what is the part there? He lost against two very good grappler and wrestlers, and won against a stand-up guy. We know that the standing game of stand-up game of Stephen Wonderboy is amazing, with his karate background. It's very good, and so when it comes to standing, he can stand with anybody. But when you look at Shavkat Rakhmonov, this is a very young 20-year-old fighter who is the next big thing in the UFC. Already riding, he has a record of 17 wins in 17 fights, and all of them are finishes, whether it's by KO or submission. This guy has a very, very great rating, and he has a perfect fight record right now, and he's going to face Stephen Wonderboy, who is getting old, we know, and so for this fight I'm going to favor the younger men. I'm going to favor Shavkat, because when you look at the way he fights, he's very, very durable first, and he has a very good, very, very good stand-up game, as well as a submission, grappling, and wrestling. So I think him being able to just be a full-on MMA fighter, being able to do everything, will allow him to have an edge over Stephen Wonderboy and win that fight. And going to the second fight, Tony Ferguson versus Paddy the Baddy. When you look at it on paper and looking at Tony Ferguson last 6 fights, having lost so many fights now, I wonder how he hasn't been cut from the UFC. Also knowing that he's always had a very complicated relationship with Dana White. So this might be his last fight in the UFC. So what do I think will happen? Logic will say pick Paddy the Baddy to win this fight, but Tony Ferguson still has that edge in terms of the experience in the octagon over Paddy the Baddy, and we saw how Paddy the Baddy struggled in his last fight. So what if? Just what if? This is a what if. I'm not giving you my my thoughts about the fight just yet. I'll talk about it a little bit more when I watch a little bit more footage on Paddy the Baddy. But what if Tony Ferguson came in and he owned the party? What if he derailed the train? Because Paddy the Baddy is a superstar now. They are building him, and that's why they are feeding him. They are feeding Tony Ferguson to him. But what if Tony Ferguson came in and shocked the world and actually won this fight? This could help him, salvage his career, and could help him, maybe if he wants to retire after that, live on a very, very good note, and But for Paddy the Baddy, it's going to be very, 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 it's going to be a very big, big nightmare, losing to Tony Ferguson, and yeah. What if, just what if he comes in and he owns the party for Dana White and for all the matchmakers and all the people that are trying to build him as the next big thing? Tony Ferguson could do that. He can do that. He has the tool to do that, And yeah, we'll see how the fight goes when the fight in December. In the meantime, like, subscribe, and give me your thoughts on those two fights. What do you think will happen in the fight between Stephen Wonderboy and Shafkat? And what do you think would happen? What would be the consequences if Tony Ferguson came in and shocked the world and actually beat Paddy the Baddy? I'm waiting for your comments and likes and subscribes. And thank you for giving me all the love that you've been giving me. Thank you. Bye bye.